Yo, what's good, everybody? As you guys know, if you've been to this channel before, we try to have 4 to 5 Marvel Snap videos every single week. I put up creative deck ideas all the time. Last week, we started with a Lockjaw deck, and we ended the week with a discard deck. So I figured, why not mix the two, and let's start this week with a Lockjaw discard deck, because this is one of my favorite decks to play. It is just a ton of fun to discard cards and just go crazy, and also to play into Lockjaw lanes where you never know what's gonna come out and you're just really hoping for the best. So here's the Lockjaw discard deck that we are working with, and I want to preface this by saying you do not need Zabu in this deck. He is not a necessity, and I sort of almost think that he's kind of overkill a little bit, but I kept him in there because he makes for some fun interactions with Dracula, Ghost Rider, and Hellcow. If you don't have Zabu, that's totally fine. Just use Swordmaster instead. Swordmaster is a fantastic replacement for Zabu, and I will play with both of the decks on this video so that you can see how both of them work right. So now that we got that out of the way, the most important cards are going to be Lockjaw over here, and what we're trying to do with Lockjaw is, of course, drop in some discard cards that are going to discard Apocalypse, building him up to high crazy levels so that Dracula comes in at the end of the game and discards Apocalypse from your hand, becoming a 20 power or a 16 power or even a 24 power creature. If you end up not getting Apocalypse in your hand, we have America Chavez, so even if Apocalypse doesn't get to such high levels of power, America Chavez is still gonna be there as a solid 9 power to get discarded by Dracula. Infinite is another card that we want in our hand to either get discarded by Dracula, or if he gets discarded early from your Lady Sif who hit Infinite instead of Apocalypse, we get to bring back Infinite with the Ghost Rider. And Infinite also works as a perfect target for Lockjaw if he's still in your deck. But what are we gonna play into the Lockjaw lane? Well, the goal is to cut these swarms early with Colleen Wing, and then they will turn into 0 cost cards that are free plays into the Lockjaw lane, and hopefully pull out America Chavez or Infinite, or even one of your other big time discard cards like Hellcow and Lady Sif. And of course, the last card in the deck is Morbius, who would be the perfect turn 2 play. Yes, you are revealing that you're going to play a discard deck, but honestly, Morbius is just such an amazing card. He's gonna gain 2 power for every time you discard a card, and you're gonna be discarding a lot of them. You can always go ahead, throw Ghost Rider into the Lockjaw lane. He almost acts like a Jubilee in a standard Lockjaw deck, but he's pulling from your discarded card graveyard and throwing that card onto the board, while simultaneously Lockjaw cycles him back into the deck so that you can maybe draw him later on and then bring out another discarded card. There's a ton of really cool interactions at play, and I honestly feel like this is the absolute best way to play a discard deck is with Lockjaw. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna take the standard Lockjaw version without Zabu in the deck. We're gonna be using Swordmaster instead, and already we got Lockjaw, so that's a great start. We also have Dracula. It would be nice if we could pull Apocalypse, and then I think we'd be in a really nice spot. Or Colleen Wing would also be good. Hey, we didn't get Colleen Wing, we didn't get Apocalypse, but we did get Morbius, and Morbius is really solid. So Fisk Tower is going to be over there, and we are going to put Lockjaw right away into Fisk Tower. We're going to try and build ourselves up as soon as we can. And we're hoping for Colleen Wing, believe it or not. That's what we're really hoping for right here, and we did not get her. So we're going to actually start off by dropping Dracula. We're putting him into Strange Academy. Morbius is in Strange Academy. They're going to get moved around to random places. Hopefully, on turn 5, we'll be able to fill up the Lockjaw lane a little bit so that they don't get dropped there, but they might. We never know here. It's a tough location for us. Morag is also not the greatest unless we can cut that swarm, and so far we have not been able to. Kind of the perfect circumstances. We got Colleen Wing And we have Swordmaster, so we're gonna let Colleen go first. She's gonna cut Swarm, turn him into a 0-cost card. We're gonna use Swordmaster, hope that we can cut Swarm again. But if Swordmaster ends up getting Hellcow, we can Ghost Rider it out. And if Swordmaster kills Ghost Rider, it's no big deal. We haven't even discarded anything yet. But let's just hope that Morbius and Dracula don't fall into the Lockjaw lane. And there goes Cosmo, and that is just really not great for us. But okay, our plans change a little bit. The on reveal effects won't go off, but we will still be able to pull out some of the bigger cards. And there's Infinite, and now you can't Shang-Chi Infinite. And Dracula going into Fist Tower absolutely destroys a ton of our strategy. That really hurts us. We still have America Chavez here to potentially save the day. We're gonna go ahead and drop America Chavez into Strange Academy and just hope that our opponent doesn't have a card big enough to beat her. And there's Devil Dino, just like I expected. And would you look at that, his Devil Dinosaur was not good enough to beat America Chavez. We're going to take you back into the gameplay with a standard discard, with the standard discard version with Swordmaster instead of Zabu. We did win, but we discarded nothing, so we're going to have to see how this goes. And Space Throne, only one card can be played here for each player. Well, we're going to play Morbius on the left, and we're actually planning on dropping Dracula into the Space Throne lane because Dracula is going to be insane, and there's not going to be anything our opponent can do about it. And Lockjaw, or however you pronounce it, is not a good one for a Lockjaw deck. We're just going to have to see what we end up doing here. And Morbius is completely useless to us, but that's okay because Dracula is still here to carry. I think the absolute best thing for us to do is actually just Lady Sif here and then play Swarm out. We're probably going to play Ghost Rider into Infinite at Lockjaw on the next turn and hope that we know that we're going to draw America Chavez. So she's going to be a 9 cost. She's going to hopefully give her 9 power to Dracula. But it honestly doesn't even really matter because Sarah is only 4 power. So no matter what, we're going to win the Space Throne. The only card that we discarded was Infinite. So Ghost Rider's just going to save the day. I would snap, but you know, we want to keep him in here. We want him to believe that he's got a chance. There goes Brood. He's gonna surf. He's gonna, you know, surf the oh, he's not surfing. Interesting. GG's. Let's go. Oh wait, we might lose. Okay, we got it. We got there. His Maximus almost screwed us. His Maximus almost got us to cut Lockjaw or Colleen Wing. So we're switching over to the Zabu deck now, and we didn't really get to show off too much of the discard shenanigans with the other deck. It just sort of wins, you know? There's just like a ton of different ways to really win with the deck. So although you didn't get to see everything that it can do, you still got a taste of what it does. And let's see what our opponent has. He's got Swordmaster as well. Interesting. Very interesting. We are going to drop Zabu into the Daily Bugle. And then I think on the next turn, we're going to drop Lockjaw into Murder World. The ideal situation for us, actually, you know what? I think the correct move, it's going to be to play out Dracula, who is not an ongoing ability. Okay, so this may be a little risky. The problem is that Ghost Rider and Hellcow are down to 2 costs, so she might not cut Swarm. We really need her to, and she cut Ghost Rider instead. Not the end of the world, not a big deal. But right now, we don't have any of our big cards, and we are really desperate to kind of pull them out and use them. We're going to go ahead. We're going to Lockjaw and then Hellcow into that middle location. He's got Sarah going on, of course. There goes Swarm. That is perfect for us. And there goes Sif, also perfect for us. And Morbius comes out. He's still, no matter what, gets the power of that has been discarded regardless of whether or not he was on the board. We're going to put the 2 swarms into the Lockjaw lane. I know it's kind of wild, but just to kind of protect against Dracula not counting for anything, we're going to put out America Chavez because those swarms may very well pull out some of the discard aspects and Dracula might end up costing 0, but we got that 9 power from America Chavez on the board anyway. I am kind of expecting Silver Surfer here though. But maybe not. I don't know. He's cutting things up. I'm not really sure what the goal of his deck is a little odd. He brought back Wong, and I don't know if that's going to be enough. Here goes Swarm into Hellcow, and that's why we put America Chavez on the board. Because otherwise Dracula would have been worth 0 and we would not have won. There goes Infinite. There goes America Chavez. GG's. Let's go. We're going to have one more game with this Zabu Lockjaw discard deck. We're not going to play Swarm out. We're going to save that. Here comes Zabu, the first card that we're playing. And we're actually going to go ahead and play him into the left. Of course, all the locations are going to get swapped on the next turn, so you don't know where they're going to end up. But playing Zabu here is probably a better move. So we pulled the Infinite, and that's pretty nice, but at the same time, Infinite can be a little bit of an issue for us because we're gonna have to Hellcow here. I think using Hellcow is the best move. Hellcow will hopefully cut Apocalypse and Swarm in an ideal world. That's how that would work, but you know, we don't live in an ideal world, so likely it'll be Infinite and Lady Sif. And there goes Infinite, like we said. And Swarm, at least we cut Swarm. Maybe we could pull Lockjaw out. There goes Rogue, but you know what? We mostly already got our use out of Zabu. We're not particularly worried about that. I mean, sorry, it would have been nice if Dracula was a 2-cost card, but we're not particularly worried about it. We got Dracula going out there. And we're gonna have 2 swarms, Lady Sif. Maybe we'll pull something small like a Colleen Wing type. There goes Sarah. Dracula's getting ready to be the highest powered card here to get that +3. We got America Chavez, of course. I forgot about America Chavez. I don't know how I could forget about her. Forgive me, Miss Chavez. Instead of using America Chavez, we will use Lady Sif and then Swarm. And Dracula's gonna have 2 big targets here. And if Sif gets rid of America Chavez, that's totally fine. That means that Dracula is definitely gonna hit Apocalypse. If Sif hits Apocalypse, also big time, because that's gonna be 12 power. There we go. That's perfect. That's gonna be 12 power on Apocalypse. That's gonna help Morbius get bigger. We got the swarms going out there. He's got Wolfsbane. That's nice. Killmonger doesn't kill any of our stuff. Silver Surfer, it's gonna give them a little bit of a boost, but it's not quite gonna be enough. And Dracula hits Apocalypse. Of course, we couldn't quite win the middle lane, but we were close, but we did win the other 2. And that's the power of having all those swarms there, you know? Having extra little 3 power cards don't seem like that much, but each of them adds up when you drop them on the board on turn 6. So that's our Lockjaw discard decks, and through the 4 games, you saw 4 different ways that you can win with this deck. It's actually amazing how many different routes this deck has to win the game. You just really got to think about what you're doing, make sure you're not discarding anything you don't really want to, and if that is the case, then, you know, hold off a turn or something like that, see what happens. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. It helps us out a lot, and I hope you have yourself a wonderful rest of your day.